I'm Kayla.
And I'm Becky, and we're with a couple of Bees Reads, and we're here to tell you about our Book of the Month predictions for January.
Yes, we do these every month, and last month we got a total of 1.
I think we're, what are we, 2 or 3 overall?
Yes.
We're not real good at picking what they pick, but I feel like they should listen to us more.
Absolutely. Always, right?
That's right.
But I think that's what everyone feels, and we appreciate Book of the Month for the books they give us.
Yes, love Book of the Month. Okay, well, as I was researching the January releases, I came up with 5 that I felt. I tried to look at it from the point of view of, okay, I've been with Book of the Month for over a year now. Mm-hmm. I kind of beginning to learn the type of books they pick. They pick a lot of debut authors, which I'm very thankful for. I love debut authors because it gives me a new person to look at and see, is this someone I can look forward to reading in the future? Mm-hmm. So this first one, when I read it, this is going to sound maybe a little crazy, but when I read the title, I actually laughed out loud. And then when you read about it, it's like, oh, well, it was written by a stand-up comedian. No wonder I laughed at the title. And the title was Everyone in the Family Has Killed Someone. And you're like, well, that's terrible that she thought that was funny. But, but then you're like, what? Because I immediately thought of my family. I thought about you, and I thought about me. I thought about my husband, my son. I thought about my dad, my brother, my sister-in-law, my niece and nephew, and all that. And I mean, because when you get to reading about it, and because then he starts going through, why they've killed. It's not like they're a family of assassins. It's accidental deaths. It's things that have occurred. And then I'm like, okay, this just sounds like something that Book of the Month would pick up, I know if they do, it's going to be my pick, or you and I may have to argue over which one of us picks it, because we always get different books. Then the second book I chose were the Davenports, because I felt like it sounded like a really strong book, and a book that we don't see a lot of in this history. And
right, it's in a certain point of history that you don't get a lot of novels from.
Exactly. It's a very wealthy African-American family.
In 1910.
Yeah, in 1910. And it's just coming from a former history teacher, everything, it just sounded very fascinating to me. And I thought, hey, this is a book I'd want to read. So
absolutely.
I thought that would be.
And the cover looks very Bridgerton. I don't know if you've watched that series, but that's what it made me think of.
Yeah. Very unique. The Stolen Heir. I chose this because Holly Black has been published by them before, and I have one of her books, and I just felt like, they do return authors, repeat authors as they call it. And I just felt like after reading it, I thought she was a favorite and felt like they might pick that up. Hex Appeal. Now, I thought this was kind of funny.
I love that play on words.
I know, but if you follow Book of the Month, they have like the X-Hex and the Kiss Curse, and they do all of Hoffman's magical things, practical magic and all that. And it just seemed like, okay, this is something that the type of book they pick up at times, and it's the main character lives with various witches throughout a very lengthy time, and one of them is still very upset about the fact that they were hanged in the 1700s, and from that perspective keeps doing, I don't know, fertility spells or something. It just sounded kind of funny, and I don't know, I felt like it was something that they might get. And then Spice Road was another one, and it kind of I haven't read the Stardust Thief, but you have.
Yes.
And I just remember what you said about it, and when I went back and I was reading that, I thought, that kind of sounds like that. So it's like something about the spice trade and the magic of spices.
Yes, spice magic.
So I thought that would be interesting, and so that might be one that they pick up.
When you sent me the synopsis, I was like, oh, this is so much like Stardust Thief.
Yeah.
So I'd be very excited for that.
Sure.
So the ones I researched, and they're going to be a little bit different. Most of them are authors who are repeat authors, so that's what I was kind of going with. There's also a very popular novel highly anticipated that's coming out in January, and it's a memoir. And Book of the Month has done quite a few memoirs this past year. And I feel like if they're going to pick a memoir this year, it's going to be this one, and that is Spare by Prince Harry. Whatever you think of everything going on with the royal family, Spare is going to be a massive bestseller.
Yeah,
so
it is.
I feel that Book of the Month might pick it up because a lot of people are very interested in what Prince Harry has to say and in the secrets of the royal family.
Right.
So next on my list was Exiles, which is a Jane Harper novel. And Jane Harper actually comped the first novel you mentioned, that everyone in the family has killed someone. So I feel like she's a repeat author. She's an excellent author, so I would like to read more of her work, and Exiles sounds right up my alley. The Villa is the newest Rachel Hawkins novel that's coming out. Now, I actually, from NetGalley, got an advanced reader's copy of it on audiobook. So I've been listening to it. And I will say this, it is different from her other novels in that there are a lot more characters. There are about like 5 main characters. And I'm nowhere near finishing, so I can't say one way or the other. I will say this, it's either going to be the best novel she's ever written or possibly the most confusing, though I feel like Rachel can pull it together. Like, if anyone can, it's Rachel Hawkins.
Yeah, I've not read any of hers, so I need
really?
I need you to probably tell me what's the best one, the one you
The
like
Reckless
the most.
Reckless Girls, period.
Okay. Then I'll...
She's also an Auburn graduate, so...
Oh, well, then maybe I won't read that.
But she's excellent, so definitely expecting The Villa to be on that. Speaking of repeat authors, Leigh Bardugo, and I hope I'm saying that name right, she wrote Hellbent, which is the highly anticipated sequel to Ninth House. Neither of us have read Ninth House, but it did really well with Book of the Month, and I would be super surprised if they don't publish the sequel. Like, shocked, at least as an add-on. Next was one I found called The Bandit Queens.
I like that title.
Yes. It's about a young Indian woman who doesn't think anything of it when people in town start gossiping about her killing her husband. She's like, oh, it just means people will mess with me. But then the women in town start coming to her and asking her for tips on how to kill their husbands. Not only is it definitely something I would read, but I feel like it's something Book of the Month would publish.
Cool.
And next is just a hopeful in my heart. I love Grady Hendrix. If y'all read the blog, you know I like Grady Hendrix. You know I have a soft spot for horror. And Grady Hendrix is one of the few horror comedy authors out there that does it in such a way that his books are one of the few that have ever unsettled me. He's right up there with Riley Sager when I rank horror novelists. So I feel like Book of the Month should pick up his How to Sell a Haunted House. This is a big stretch. Probably won't do it, but I'm hoping for it, even though I've already ordered the book. So that shows you how much I'm hoping. Next up is Pandora, which combines the myth of Pandora with kind of a modern mystery take. It has been comped by Jennifer Saint, who you should know from Ariadne and Electra. So 2 books that she's written that have been published by Book of the Month. And I feel like if she said this is good, then maybe Book of the Month will listen and hopefully bring us Pandora. If not, I do think it would be an awesome aardvark pick, because they tend to lean more towards the mythology. We'll see. Next up we have Mammy, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Mammy is one of those books that's already getting excellent reviews, so I'm hoping Book of the Month gives it a chance. I think it's one of those, just reading the synopsis, looking at the cover, it looks like a Book of the Month pick. Yeah. So Mammy, we are hoping. We'll see.
We'll see. All right. Well, that's our predictions for January. We could have included a lot more, but I mean, they only offer us 5 books, so we know that they're not all going to be there.
Exactly. Yeah. But we are hoping for some. Since our record is, 1 book, maybe we'll get 2 this month.
Yeah, maybe we will get 2 that month. That'd be awesome. All right.
Well, guys, thank you so much.
Have a great week.
We'll see you later.
Bye.